Hey everyone, welcome to my first developer blog covering the process of creating my first Meta Quest VR game. I am calling this the Seance, and it's basically a social VR game where players sit around a table and they are trying to figure out which one of them is already dead. Yep, that's it. So the idea is very simple. So one of these players, is secretly a ghost. Everyone else is the living team, and only one player is the ghost. The ghost can manipulate the environment in subtle ways, like flickering a candle, sliding objects across the table, causing knocking behind walls, while the living players must watch each other's body language and try to figure out who's doing it. At some point, there is going to be a voting round. During this time, they are going to have to hold the candle in front of them and point with the candle at the player that they think is the ghost. The purpose here is to avoid any type of menus, any type of buttons or anything that might break the immersion of the game. What makes this interaction different from others like Among Us or any type of deception games is that the ghost has a different reality from the rest of the players. So let's imagine, for example, that this player over here is the ghost. What they're going to see is the same room, but with the different shader that basically is going to allow them to see what objects are interactable and what objectives they have to complete in order to win the game. That's basically the motivation for the ghosts to do things because they might just stay there without doing anything and basically, pretend that they're going to win the game by not revealing who they are. But they actually have to complete certain objectives across the room without getting discovered first. If the voting happens and the rest of the players, the living ones, vote for the wrong person, then the powers of the ghost are going to increase. They're going to be able to do more things across the room. However, if they do choose the correct person, in this case the ghost, then the game ends basically. That's the core mechanic of the game. There are more details around this interactions, but I am going to save the details of those things for later on. I am going to be building this in 4 weeks, knock on wood. Let's see if that happens. During the first week, I am going to try to create the base environment of the game. Of course, I am not an artist, so I'm going to be relying a lot on assets from the Unity store or CG Trader or places like that. And then by the second week, I am going to try to create this second reality for the ghost, where they see the differentiator that allow them to see what objects are interactable in the world. Then by week 3, I am going to be using this game, basically adding all the sounds or the animations or the physics to objects and so on. And hopefully by week 4, I am going to be able to publish the game under the Meta Horizon Store Early Access. This is my first time doing this, as I said, so I'm going to be documenting everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, uh, all the bugs. Uh, and we'll see. Maybe I finish this, maybe I won't. The purpose is basically to try new things. So that's it for now. This is the plan, and I will be sharing more about this game pretty soon. Stay tuned.